What is happening, people? Liverpool Prophet back again with another video. Interesting stuff, interesting things to talk about. Quite a lot, obviously, Liverpool related, everything Liverpool related, transfer news, player news, everything is right here on this channel. So stay tuned, everyone. This is where all the Liverpool stuff comes from, and there's quite a bit to talk about today still. News has come out on Konate. Konate's contract situation apparently. It's not great news, unfortunately, but yeah, let's get on there. I wanted to touch a bit on other areas of the squad as well, I think, that need fixing and looking at. And I wanted to talk a bit about just Liverpool as a whole. But without further ado, guys, let's get into it because there's quite a bit to get into. So, look, I wanted to start on the negative note. News came out today that Ibrahima Konate has rejected his contract extension at Liverpool. The deal that the club put forward, Konate apparently felt underwhelmed and disrespected by the proposal that Liverpool offered. Hence, he has rejected the offer to extend because he doesn't feel the offer is the right one or it's good enough for him. That's worrying news. I can't lie. That's very worrying news, man. If he hasn't signed this season, then next season he's eligible to move on a free, and we know who's looking at him right now, Real Madrid. So, Konate doesn't extend this summer. If he doesn't extend his contract this summer, I think we need to be looking to sell this summer, or we need to sell in January, because we cannot have another player leaving on a free to go to Real Madrid. Now, I would hope that Ibu has learnt from what happened with the right back earlier this season, last season, sorry, and looked at it and thought, okay, I'm not going to end up like that. But you just never know. So him not extending this deal, it's worrying to me. It's worrying. I think if he doesn't extend and if he wants to leave, he has to ride bench for the rest of next season until he gets sold in January. He definitely needs to be sold in January because cannot be losing him on a free. We cannot lose Ibrahima Konate on a free. That would be really poor business. And if that happens twice in a row, 2 seasons in a row, it's going to be a big issue. So I hope the club can find some sort of compromise and Konate is happy with something that the club do end up putting forward and he does extend. But it's not great news, man. I want Konate to stay. I think Konate is a really good centre back. But I don't know. The signs are all pointing to him in Madrid. I didn't want to say that. I don't want to say that, but it is looking like he might end up at Madrid as well. He hasn't extended. Haven't really heard news, rumours or leaks of him saying he wants to stay at Liverpool. So it's worrying. It's really looking like he is going to be ending up at Real Madrid as well. Unfortunately, but I don't want that to happen. I hope the club can come to some sort of agreement, and like I said, I hope Konate and the club can reach some sort of compromise that they're both happy with, and Konate ends up staying. But if he doesn't stay, it's disappointing, and for him to go to Madrid after what happened with Madrid last season, it's going to be a big kick in the nuts. I feel a big kick in the nuts, and we don't want that to happen again. So hopefully he stays. Hopefully he stays, but if not, bench and then sold in January for me. That's how I would do it. It's another contract situation. These contract situations, man, they're going to be the death of this club, I swear. This season we had a contract situation going on for the most of the season until the club extended 2 of them. One of them left, obviously, but man, I don't like this one. I don't like contract situations dragging on. I really don't. On a more positive note, though, the news around Mark Guehi is looking promising now. Like I said, if Konate doesn't extend, I feel Guehi is perfect to come in and partner Van Dijk. I feel that would be a very, very good partnership. If Konate doesn't extend, and it looks like he isn't going to extend now, so I would potentially be looking at playing Mark Guehi next to Virgil van Dijk. I think Guehi with more game time can definitely improve and definitely better himself as well. But like I said, options in it. This season we couldn't really interchange the centre back options because I think Slot didn't trust Quanta enough, and Gomez is just Gomez in it. So I feel with Guehi, Slot will have someone he can trust more, and maybe he'll be able to rotate the centre backs a bit more in next season. But yeah, very, very interesting situation. Squad wise though, I'm really happy. I'm looking at the squad and I'm looking at the bench and I'm thinking, for the first time, I feel, for me personally, I'm looking at Liverpool's first 11 and I'm looking at Liverpool's bench and thinking we have decent depth there now. I think we have decent depth in the midfield. Up top, obviously, speaks for himself. Speaks for itself. And I think centre back wise, once Guehi comes in and hopefully another one, we'll have decent depth at centre back wise and the wing backs as well, of course. So for the first time, I'm looking at our squad and I'm thinking, wow, we actually have a really, really good squad here. Not just the first 11, but a really good squad as a whole. That's something I haven't really seen at Liverpool in a long time. Either the first 11 is usually really good and the bench players just aren't it. But I'm looking at the squad now and I'm really happy for once. I'm really happy looking at the squad going into next season. With a couple more additions, I think we'll have a squad to challenge on all fronts next year, in my opinion. Also, I'm looking at our squad and I'm looking at Manchester City squad. And I feel, for once, I can't believe I'm saying this, and I never thought I would be saying this, but I'm feeling for the first time we actually have a better squad than Manchester City. I feel squad-wise, currently, as a whole, squad-wise, I think Manchester City look really weak. I think us, though, for once, I feel we have a better overall squad than Manchester City. And who on earth, a couple of years ago, would have thought Liverpool would ever have a better squad than City? They've always had a better squad than us. First 11 wise, it's arguable. Of course, we could go toe to toe with them first 11, but I think squad wise, it was never a debate. They were always better squad wise. But now the tables are turned a bit, I'm looking at us and thinking we have a better squad and arguably a better first 11 when everyone's fit. And they look like they're weak squad wise for once. Never thought I'd be saying that, but I think that's another great sign. You know, like I said, having a big squad is key. This season, we didn't have a big squad. We had a weak squad, actually. Arguably, I feel personally, we were weaker this season than we were in Klopp's final season because we let Matip go and we let Thiago go. Albeit Thiago was injured a lot, but that's still a squad place there. And we did not replace him. So, I feel we were actually weaker this season, last season gone. But somehow, we won the league and, ultimately, we couldn't challenge to go deep in the Champions League because the squad wasn't right. It wasn't deep enough, and the cup runs again couldn't go deep in the FA Cup and lost the Carabao Cup final. So I think next season having a bigger squad is going to be very key because I'm expecting us to retain the Premier League title, or at the very least challenging for it. I'm expecting us to challenge for the Champions League. 100%. I want us definitely this season to challenge for the Champions League, and I definitely am expecting us to pick up one of the domestic cups, whether that be the Carabao Cup or whether that be the FA Cup. I'm expecting us to pick up a cup, and obviously a big one. So whatever big one we win, I would obviously rather to win the Premier League. Of course, you want to win the Premier League because you want to shut the haters up, not you. We won the league. Arne Slot comes in unproven, no signings, wins the league. People still find a way to hate on it. They still find a way to hate on it. So I want to win the league again next season, with an improved team, and I want Slot to go back to back. And then that will shut the haters up. I feel that will shut the haters up. Then again, there's always some haters that will come out with some bollocks or some nonsense as to why it was the second worst Premier League side ever, team ever, or Premier League season ever. So yeah, but Champions League, I also want to win that. I mean, I want to get number 7. I really want to get number 7. If it wasn't for Real Madrid, like I said, we would have 8 Champions League. Sorry, 8. Unfortunately, we live in a world where Real Madrid exists and we lost 2 finals to them. But either one of the big boys next season, I'm happy with. If we were to go all the way in the league and finish like a point off second and win the Champions League, I would be happy with that. I'd be like, okay, we went all the way in the league, but we've won a Champions League, so I'm happy with that, similar to 18-19. Now, if we were to get to the semi-final of the Champions League and win the league, I'd also be happy with that. I'd be like, we went deep in the Champions League, but we won the league as well. So even though we didn't win the other competition, we still gave it our all, and we still went really deep in it. So either or for me, Premier League next season or the Champions League, I wouldn't mind either one. Obviously, we have to be up there. If we make the right signings, if we bring the right players in, I feel we have to be up there in both competitions as favourites. to win them, in my opinion, personally. So yeah. But guys, that is it for me today. I'll be back very soon with more Liverpool related news, more Liverpool related content. So remember, stay tuned. Remember, like, subscribe, comment, show some love, please. It was much appreciated. But I am going to head out. Liverpool profit. Peace out. Up the Reds. Let's go.